Jesus body or a Jesus baby.
Like with God, you can't know it all. So I always grew up in a Christian. God is all that you have. And
Bible is not just only to take us to heaven. Faith journey in one word is spontaneity.
to you. I was praying. I was just playing worship song because
God.
it just feel tears in my eyes. I'm like,
Love languages.
love information and all, but then what makes you
Love a girl in the beauty. Someone who doesn't have a love language.
the hardest of the hardest ones love?
Girl. No, you know this love thing.
God is your PR agent.
Papa, don't hide up.
Honestly, it's all vibes.
Let's not too bad.
Hours, madam.
Hey loves, welcome back to my channel. Today. Hi, if this is your first time here, my name is Seffa and this is Woman Seffa's World. Do not forget to subscribe before you leave to join other family members if this is your first time here, and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy watching it. We are back again with our usual conversations, okay? And this time we have the most beautiful girl in the whole world. Yeah, no hype, please. Introduction herself.
Hi guys, my name is Sarah Haruna. I'm a beauty and lifestyle content creator and a YouTuber as well.
Let's get to it. Today we're talking about very sensitive, fun topics. Okay, we're going to touch the areas of love, faith, grief. You know, you already know what my channel is all about. Everything beautiful and inspirational. All right, so I'm going to ask Sarah a few questions and we're just going to go straight to the point.
So, hi Sarah. Hi Sarah.
Are you happy yeah. Sarah rest the part too.
Yeah.
Are you happy to be my channel today?
Yes, of course. I'm happy.
Okay, so how can you describe your faith journey? You're a Christian, of course. You love God. Are you a Jesus body or a Jesus baby?
A Jesus baby.
Okay.
Sprinkle. Oh, sprinkle. Just listen. Most people tend to think that once you're a content creator, then you're a baddie. They expect you to have a certain standard. There's a certain expectation, right? But I wouldn't regard myself as those people who are holy and thou, like, I don't wear trousers, I have to dress a certain way, I'm not supposed to have piercing. No, I wouldn't regard myself as that. So I also believe that we should look good. The fact that we're Christian does not mean that you should be shabby. Doesn't mean that you shouldn't know the trendy things of life and all of that. I mean, you just have to guard your mind, guard your thoughts and all. But it doesn't mean that you should let yourself fade off just because you're a Christian. I don't think that's it.
Yeah. So how would you describe your faith journey? Like, when did you discover God for yourself? Like, how was that turning point in your life that, like, oh my God, see, I've decided, God, I'm reading my Bible, I'm following you? Because I saw a content on your page when you talk about like rejuvenating, connecting with God, like your Bible was a fanciful Bible and all that. I was like, oh my God, this is really beautiful. So when did that realization come in? Yeah,
I regard my journey as a journey of spontaneity. I don't know, because I feel like with God, you can't know it all. Like, yeah, you're always discovering, you're always finding something new and all of that. So I always grew up in a Christian home. My dad was like director of Holy Pilgrimage, so he literally would travel to Jerusalem and Israel and come back with pictures and describe, I saw the place where Jesus was. I have like albums downstairs that describe this. The journey of Christianity is a personal one. There's the point where you know that, okay, yes, I'm a Christian because I was born a Christian, but there's the point where you're like, okay, I have to know Christ for myself. I have to really understand what this Christianity thing is. And for me, I think if I look back, I can't really put a date to it, but it's just been, I need to read my Bible more. I've always been reading my Bible because I'm like, I don't want to be one of those people that they're explaining, this is John Kiniko, and I'm so lost because I'm like,
exactly, especially in the church. You don't know
in the Bible.
If John is in First Testament or New Testament,
like I'm always like, okay, I don't want to always be lost. So because of that I don't like to feel like I don't know what they're talking about, and that has made me like want to understand God more. And I always, when people say like, God spoke to me, I heard from God,
the Holy Spirit is pushing me.
I need to have this relationship with God. I need to know what's really going on. I don't want to be left out, especially if you have the goal of, I need to make heaven. I don't know what's gonna happen, but I need to make heaven because I can't suffer here on earth. I'm gonna suffer in the afterlife. It doesn't make sense.
It's eternal for you.
Exactly. It doesn't make sense. So because of that, I'm constantly trying to live a righteous life, constantly trying to know God for myself, constantly trying to understand the word. What does God say about that? And I feel like if you're someone who struggles with like anxiety or feeling low and all, God is all that you have. I'm telling you, no therapy, no talking to friends.
No, it doesn't. It's
God.
Like God is the real therapy. Like
when I came to the realization, I'm like, it's God or nothing. I just have to hold on to him like this and be like, okay, God, what are you saying to me today?
Exactly.
You open the scriptures and you're like, okay, what am I learning today? What's the conversation today? I need to understand what you have for me today. So I think just that alone makes me more diligent to want to seek the face of God and understand, okay,
absolutely correct. Because I feel like lately for me, if you read the Bible to an extent, I mean, everything is just like a circle, you know. The Bible is not just only to take us to heaven, it's to teach us things here on earth. Like there's some portion you open up. I mean, did God inspire this person? But then God know already what the word is, because it's the all-knowing. So nothing is new to him that is happening in our time here. It's just for us to make conscious effort to like know him, like you said, for who he truly is. Like get closer to him. It's just like the friend you talk to every day. So when you're coming to him, I feel you just have to be bare, unclad. Like a faith journey, in one word, is spontaneity. It just happened. Nothing triggered it.
Nothing exactly. I feel like I've always been going to church. And to be honest, I feel like when I lost my dad, that was when I even felt more distant, to be honest. Because I'm like, God, I was praying to you. I was praying. God. One of my greatest fears, we had asked me when I was much younger, I don't want to lose my dad. Oh no. So it's a prayer point, constant. Yeah? And then you wake up one day, they say your dad is dead. At that point, you wonder, is there God? Does God even really exist? So all this prayer I've been praying, make it make sense. So at that point, I realized that, going to church, even praying, like coming to the place of prayer was a bit very difficult for me. And that's the time when I found Theophilus Sunday. Because I remember the day that I came back home from school, my brother was playing, because all of us gathered in this room. People were in my brother's room, people were in my dad's room, people were in my mom's room, so we all stayed in this room. And I remember all through the night, I couldn't sleep, but my brother was playing Theophilus Sunday song, and that's what helped me all through, right? So I couldn't bring myself to pray. I couldn't bring myself to actually understand what was going on. But I remember always playing worship. Because that was what helped me. I was always playing worship song. Because even when you don't know what to say, just listening to the song, it just keeps you in the presence. Like you just takes it to a different realm.
I think that's the thing. So when I tell people that sometimes when I'm too lost of words, I just start crying because and then for me, it was Simisola Agbebi. When I listened to that, like Bola. Don't want to get emotional. Jesus, when I started listening to that song.
Let me just interrupt. When I saw Sumi, let me just give you the backstory.
Okay.
I went to the airport to pick my brother's friend. So it was me, Comfort, my friend, she's around, and then two of my brother's friends. So went to pick someone that's coming into the country. She said, Sarah, see Sumi, I said, it's a lie. Me, I doubted Thomas. I said, it's a lie. Because she likes to do that thing. She would like be whining me. I said, it's a lie. Sumi, where? Sumi, fire. She likes to Sumi.
The family you scattered. I can relate.
I could not, and I'm like, oh my God, what do I do? What to do? She was standing just beside me. Everything in me, I was like, oh my God, what do I do? I went to meet her. I'm like, oh, hi, Sumi. Thank you so much for being a blessing. And all. She was so tired. And she was like, oh, thank you so much. God bless you. And all, I'm like, as in, like, I could literally feel tears in my eyes. I'm like, oh, this is... I mean,
if I give you the opportunity, I'll be like, Sumi, please sing for me right here.
Like, I can't ask her for pictures. I can't ask her for anything because it was late in the night. I knew she was tired. And I saw her husband and I greeted her. I'm like, oh my God, I know that I really want to keep this memory, but I can't do this because I need to be sensitive.
You be insensitive.
Yes, I need to be sensitive. So I was just like, oh, okay, have a nice day. And when she was going, she was like, okay, bye. I know. I was like, okay. In my mind, I was like, oh, I have to see this woman again. Then I went for her concert.
I think
I remember I saw you at the airport. She remembered me. Like, you remember?
If I see Pastor Nathaniel, I have not like in person.
Okay, I've not seen him in person. I've not had a conversation with him. But when I went to Petra, they were doing rain conference.
Okay.
I cried my soul away. Pastor Nat sings so beautifully.
Oh,
the grace of God upon his life is amazing. Like,
Lord,
you listen to him and start to think, I'm like, God, you're so good.
How do you create these beautiful people?
You're so good.
Like recently I was saying something that I don't know what is happening to me. Like I'm morphing into a state that every love song, even if it's a secular music I hear, I feel like I want to sing it to God.
To God.
Like, it just happens to me, and that is how I want to experience love on my own. Like, this is the depth I have. It's a process. Sometimes you're angry at him. Sometimes you want to come closer. It's like that. You know, this
I mean, I always like to say God is a lover boy. Like, if you look at the scriptures and see
John
how
says, God is
loves
love.
you'll just be like, I don't think anyone can ever love me.
No, it's not possible. No, it's not. Let's talk about... What does that look? Okay.
I'm just curious. Let's
talk about love a little.
Okay.
Yeah. So, like, love languages. Is it a thing for you?
Yeah, before I used to think that, well, I don't care. But I think because I'm someone who is becoming very self-aware,
okay,
I now know that, oh, it's a big deal. Once you take out time to understand yourself, you know, okay, this is what makes me feel loved. Yeah. This is what I would want to be told. This is how I would want to feel when I'm with somebody. So it's just like, if you're trying to understand yourself, you just have to understand your love languages. Because the truth is, how you show love to people or how you want to receive love, you need to understand that. So when you meet a partner, because for me, it's one of the first few questions I ask a guy when I'm saying, okay, what's your love language? Okay, if it's something that I know that I can't give, I'm like, okay, I have to work in this area. Please
don't ask a traditional man, like, what is love language?
No, there are some guys, but then sometimes I try to now bring it down, like, okay, I'm not saying like, okay, I know there's the words of affirmation and all, but then what makes you feel loved?
Yes, what can I do to feel like, okay, you're appreciated, like, by me?
Yes, like what would I do that would make you feel like, oh, this girl, oh, she thinks of me, like that. I mean, traditional men, they don't know it as love languages, but that doesn't mean that they don't know how they want to be loved. So when you see somebody who cannot answer that,
I think they're confused sometimes. Yeah, you're coming to somewhere.
I feel like if you see someone that cannot answer that, you have to just like make them understand, oh, okay, what particular action or what gesture would I do towards you that will make you feel like, oh, I'm really loved by this person. I think you just have to take out time to explain to them so they'll know, because that's when you hear them talking. Some will say, when I know that this person is just thinking about me, like let's say I mentioned the project I was working on before, and then she now say, oh, how is that project going? That alone will make her feel that this person is interested in me. So you have to like explain it to them so that they will now get a hang of it, like, okay, this is what I like, this is what I don't like, and all of that. Yeah.
Okay. So beautiful. Love a girl in the beauty. So have you ever loved someone, or would you date someone who doesn't have a love language?
I don't think there's anybody that doesn't have a love language. I really don't think so. I think that what people don't know is they can't place it like, okay, this is what okay, for me now, if you ask me what's my love language, I love all 5. But when you tell me, oh, arrange it in the order to which one you value most or which one you appreciate most, that's when I can answer. Because I can't pick, I'm only a words of affirmation person and I don't like acts of service. No, it doesn't work that way. The same way I don't think that people don't have, see, even the hardest of the hardest wants love. That's just the honest truth. And there's a certain way that they feel love, they receive love.
Exactly.
They understand. So I feel everybody has a love language. You just have to do the inner work or be patient to actually realize, okay, this is how this person receives love. Okay. Or whenever I do this to this person, I notice that they are happier. I notice that they appreciate it. I notice that they welcome me more and all. I don't think people don't have. If you tell me you don't have love language, I'll laugh it off because I'm like, oh, with time we'll see. With time I would understand who you are as a person. With time I would know what exactly makes you happy and what makes you feel loved and all. Most people that say that, they're already trying to form, oh, I don't love and all of that. But if you dig deep, they have what is to touch their hearts. That's just the truth. That's the truth.
Were you a love doctor before? Girl, no, you know this love thing.
From maybe experience or maybe books, because I read a lot, so sometimes I try to understand.
You see, but on a personal note, I feel like half of my life have been affected by books. Yeah. Because I honestly feel that I want a fairy tale and this girl is gonna get it. I don't know why, because now the books come in. If I meet a guy like randomly, you're talking and I'm talking, you'll be like, wow, you love the way I talk, you're perfect. Do you read? Do you understand what it is to do romance? In the core. Romance in the core.
I don't read romance novels, so that's the thing. Like, for me, I feel like I'm more of a self-help babe. Like, I like self-development. It's now that I'm trying to read memoirs. It's now that I'm trying to go into African literature. You know,
but then and African literature have a lot of love stories, but they are tragic. They don't have it's happy endings. It's only Americans give a lot of happy endings, girl.
I'm not sure I want to be. I say anything. I told myself, you know, the Bible says whatever things are good and true, think only on these things.
Meditate only. Philippians 4:11, 4 something. Yeah,
I'm only going to think on those things. So anything that has bad news in it, I don't want to be here.
Do you know? I like this year when I started. Like my mantra for this year is, honestly speaking, I'm going to speak only positive things over my life.
Yeah, so
and I'm not going to talk about manifesting, but I'm going to speak it like, Sarah, you'll be rich this year. This is your financial era. This is your God, I surrender era. And like that is what I think this year for me. My year of surrender. When I finish my retreats and I pray, because I was having so much, like we discussed the other day, I was having so much happening around me, in me, and there was so much noise. I'm like, okay, fine. God, I just want to listen. I just want to surrender. I have a testament that you were with me in the wilderness.
Yeah, I think everybody needs to experience retreat. Honestly, like just away from the noise, away from everything.
Go
just
deep,
you,
introspective,
and your God. Yes, because this world is noisy.
It's going to search you, like it's going to like, really break it. You know, it was when I went on this retreat that I discovered that truly the world does not revolve around me when it comes to like friendships, relationships. There's some things about me that you really need to morph to go to this next level, and yeah, it works. Like I said, everyone really needs to do retreat. So this is a more sensitive question. I feel like holding your hands now. But yeah, I know you can handle it. So, have you ever grieved? Yeah, you said yes, so.
Oh yeah. Oh, I thought you were gonna ask something else. But yeah.
No. Let's leave it.
I think if it was before, I would have been extremely sensitive because I was in denial. Honestly, I didn't like to talk about it. I didn't even accept that. I'm just like, oh, he traveled somewhere. That was the mindset I had. I lived for years because I didn't want to just come to the reality of this is it. I thought I'd come to the reality of it, but deep down, I didn't know that I was still in denial. So yeah, I've experienced that. I lost my dad when I was 17. Was that 17? I don't know. But I shall lost it really young. So yeah.
Don't. You know, I actually asked you this question because I saw a video on your Instagram where you mentioned going to see your dad's grave and going to pay a visit to him when you traveled home. And how did you deal with it? What was your coping mechanism? How were you? Because you're a daddy's girl, yeah. I can't even tell you the stage I am. I don't know. The last stage of grief is acceptance, but low-key, I've not accepted it. I feel like I mirror my mother, so like I'm like a twin child. So I can see myself sometimes, apart from I don't want to feel the things that she felt that were awful, but most times it's strange. I told you about our relationship. Really know, how did you?
It wasn't a linear journey. It is not a linear journey. I mean, it's something that you just live with it, right? But what really matters is how you cope, how you deal with it.
Time doesn't heal. That is.
Maybe you tend to forget a bit. Maybe it doesn't hurt as much. But the part of healing has to be intentional. It has to be you telling yourself that, okay, this is it. This is the reality of things. He's never going to come back. This is it. You're not going to call him. You're not going to ask him for money. You're not going to have someone that you can run to when you're stranded. This is it. I mean, it's not something that just happened. I mean, like I said, when I made that post, that's 5 years after. So imagine how long it took me. It doesn't happen that way for everybody. Please don't get me wrong. Some people have some people are not as emotional. Some people tend to deal with things faster. Some people, know how to block off everything. There's some people are strong emotionally. But for me, losing my dad made me realize that, okay, not as much as I thought I was strong, I was so weak. Right? For me, what happened was I just started to move on. Honestly, I just started to work hard because I'm like, my dad would want me to work hard. My dad would not want me to sulk. My dad would not want me to be crying. I'm not like, would he be happy if you say, okay, I'm this way because of him? And once I think of that, I'm just like, oh, on to the next. And for me, it was a very big switch because my dad was like my everything. I literally just have to go and meet that man and just explain in details what you need. and he'll give it to you. So him not being there meant that, okay, financially things had changed.
Yeah.
I was in school, so my school fees had to be paid. And I mean, some of these things played out, and there were situations where I would be like, if my father was alive, I wouldn't be going through this. I mean, I still have those moments now where, like, maybe I'm in a fix and I'm like, if my father was here. Traveling in December was a very spontaneous move. I'm not going to lie, a very bad place. I traveled all through 2023 was a very funny and crazy and somehow year for me. So like all up onto the point where I traveled, I was struggling, right? Struggling to now do the things that I would normally do. So content, I was struggling. I mean, I would show up, but I knew I wasn't my best self. I didn't want to talk to people. I was isolating a lot. I was just so uninterested in a lot of things. A lot of things. And I think I just finished NYST, so I was also trying to figure out, am I going to work? Am I going to focus on content? Okay, if I'm going to focus on content, I don't even feel like making videos, which is a struggle for me, because when I want to know that, I'm experiencing a decline, things that I love, I don't have interest in them. So when I couldn't point, I was just like, maybe just sleep and wake up. Or just rest a bit, or just give it 1 week.
Yeah.
And 1 week turned to 2 weeks. Sometimes I would cry, not because I'm sad, but because I feel like, what's going on with me? Am I not creative? Why am I not my best self? What am I struggling? Like, I couldn't even understand in myself. It's now that I can place a name to it, where I'm like, I was burnt out. I was having like, you know, when it's more like you've been piling different scenarios, different things that have been happening to you, different
like
issues.
a war is going on, just something like,
it's more like all my walls came crumbling. I couldn't act like the stronger that I am. I couldn't keep on pushing. Everything was just so much for me. It was like someone explained to me when I traveled, they were like, it's more like, something happened to you and you carry the stamp on your body. Something happens, you carry the stamp, you carry the stamp, you carry the stamp, until there's nowhere else to place that stamp and it takes over you. That was literally what happened, because I couldn't place it on one thing. So she was like, Theophilus wants to meet me. And I'm like, why? I mean, I like him, but then I'm like, why does he want to see me? So I was always stalling. So she was always like, come to Kogi State. Mind you, I don't have experience in Kogi State. I don't really go to the village like that. They were like, no, you're not going to travel. You're literally just coming out from the hospital 2 days after you say you want to travel. Travel to where? Everyone was like, no. So I had to beg my senior sister to tell my auntie and my mom that, please, I really want to go. Right? I really want to go. Maybe this might just be it. I don't know how to get to Kogi State by myself. And they wouldn't even let me travel by myself, because my sister was already in Kogi State. So he was like, you know what? There's a car coming to pick some of the delegates that are coming to the event. Come with the car. So I was like, okay, no problem. And I traveled, and the rest was...
See, when God wants to, like, meet you...
Yeah, like, he makes everything
possible. Like, he just... There's a hurdle here. It's making another way. You don't have to, like, struggle with clarity. Is this what you want, God? Is this what I want for me? You just say, this is the sign. I'll give you 1 million signs that I need you to do this thing. And it's happening.
Yeah. So that was it for me. It was a different encounter for me. I'm not going to lie. Every day had its own story. I was there for, like, a week or two, right? And every day was just a different encounter. I had a dream one time where someone was talking to me, and she was like, I should download an app. He was like, I should download an app, and when I download the app, I should check Hebrew 11 or Hebrew 11
that's
or
clear.
Hebrew 12. That's clear. Download the app and all. So when I'd woken up, I was like, okay, let me check. So it didn't really make sense. Right, I was like, okay, yeah, I understand but okay, so I think after the person told me he went, then I saw a woman. She was selling something. I'm like, that man said I should download something. That man said I should. I was like, download it now. And then he was like, that when I download the app, I should go. Right, I should make sure that I travel. And I'm like, travel? I don't want to go. He was like, just make sure that you travel and all of that.
Man.
Yeah. So she was like,
Hebrews what?
So I was Hebrews 11. So he was like, Hebrews 11 or Hebrews 12, because I was like, I remember when I woke up, I read 11 and 12 because I wasn't sure, right? Because when sometimes when you wake up from dreams, you're not clear about some of them.
But you got the message.
Yes. And then it was also the time where I was contemplating traveling to Kogi State.
What is Hebrews 11?
There was a part where they talked about enduring the pain. Right, where it was despising the shame, enduring the pain. So when I went to Kogi State, guess what they preached about?
God.
just guess what they preached about. I bawled my eyes. he talked about enduring the pain, despising the shame. He explained that he explained that
my father
he explained that sometimes we have this the way the devil talks to us, he tends to either make us think of the pain we're going to experience or the shame that would come with it, right? And he's like, oh, you know, when the devil tries to say, oh, Sarah, you're a very weak person, you say, and so? Okay, yes, I'm weak, but if I have God, God is going to make me strong. If you can endure that, if you can despise the shame, because he will either try to make you feel like this, if you don't do this, there's a shame that will come with it too.
Just like, yeah,
it's just like, oh, let's say if you don't bend to the ways of the society, there's a shame or you will not fit in. They will say, that girl, she's only out.
Exactly, and then they'll be like, when did she start becoming so godly? When?
Devil will try to make you feel like there's a certain shame that will come with it. But if you can look at the devil and say, and so what? And if they say I'm spirit cocoa, he will not say, if they say they're spirit cocoa, that means they'll not want to answer. Do I need them to? She says, if you can attack the devil like that, you would see that you would not struggle with sin. As long as God is with me.
Because God was inspiring Paul to write these things. Like they said, the pain, I'm not very good with quoting the Bible, pain that you feel now is nothing compared to the joy that is coming. So every time I reflect on that part of St. Paul's teachings, I like, well, why did you have to take my mother for me to understand that there is more to you? I don't know, because I really ask God. That's what every time I sit down, that's pain crawls in again. Like, do you really have to take that woman to make me feel like you want me, or you want me to know you for who you truly are? God can speak to you through the people around you, through things, through the air, because there are so many ways God spoke to people of old. Remember when Elijah was in the wilderness, the widow of Zarephath, and then when he was running away from so many things that happened, the drought and the famine thing, that story, and then when Elijah was trying to hear God, he didn't hear God in the wide wind, this and that, but the still wind. I'm like, okay, God, what are you doing? What are you doing? And then God doesn't have your time. It takes what you're giving your time to.
What you're giving your time to. I can relate to this so much. Like, sometimes, that's why with social media or with my work, with content, I'm always like, God, I don't want to ever let this be my only focus, that I forget you. If this is going to be a problem, just take it away. Because
if it's not what you have called me to do, if not the purpose, let me know. Give me clarity.
Because there's nothing... See, if God is your PR agent...
Hey, go Krista, go market you. See,
that's just what I've come to. I told this year I had to sit with God. I'm like, God, I don't want to do this on my own. I don't want to ever feel like I'm alone in this journey. Yeah, physically I may be alone, but I know that you're here. And no matter what it is, that's why in every step that I take, I always go back. I'm like, God, this is what I want to do. This is how I feel about this. This is what I would want to. But if this is not what you want, you just remove it. Or just let me know that, okay, this part I'm taking, maybe it, but this is not the time. And I feel like it's so much easier knowing that there's somebody that you can go to and ask, okay, should I turn left? Should I turn right? It's just easier that way to know that there's somebody holding your hand and trying to walk you. Because the truth is, God wants a better end than us. Shebi, he said, for the thought I think towards you, they have good and not evil to give you an expect.
Exactly.
Do you understand? Exactly. So he already knows that he wants you to have a good future. So why not go and meet him and say, okay, that future that you say that is good,
show me way now. Baba, don't hide updates. If she says so. I agree.
Is hard. Life is not for the weak. Life is difficult. You have to have something beyond you, something stronger than you that you can draw.
You have to. Don't mind me. That was a little weird.
Something you can draw strength from that is stronger than you. And
that intimacy that we keep emphasizing, that is what we want to have with God. Catholics. So when I go to the church to meditate in the chapel, if I reach the Sarah, I can't even start praying. Immediately I look at the tabernacle, I'm already crying. I'm overwhelmed with emotions.
It's emotions.
I think that's
how it should be. Honestly, I feel like I like to call God my father. I don't have a physical father, but I know that I have a father because that's who he is. Like, until you take him from that big figure that we see that's just in heaven waiting to scold us, and we see him like
scary, like
and we see him like our father who would want to do anything to make his children happy. It would change your mindset towards God completely, because the way you depend on your physical father, the way you depend on your physical mother, the way you depend on your friends, that when you're struggling you cry and call them, see what this person did to me. Why can't you call God? I said, Daddy, let me report this person to you. This is what happened.
Domestically,
that's how it should be. Like,
I mean, domestically, that is
the true intimacy with him.
That is how I feel. And then it took me a long while to discover. After you have tagged David.
Man after his own heart.
Why? I feel like truly what you said about like the devil trying to shame us when we are falling short of God's glory. David knew that the mercy of God is in abundance.
Oh no, yeah.
Anytime he does small sin, he
has come back to God.
No, Psalm 51. Have mercy on me. In the multitude of your...
See, I think David is a very fascinating character.
David hacked it with God. Because why?
Yeah.
Now, look at Psalm 30. Psalm 30, like, you surround me with cries of deliverance. David really knows that God's weakness is mercy.
So, I feel like God just wants that. Even if you do something, just come back and admit it. Come and be vulnerable, because he knows it for you.
Are we not human beings, guys? The frailty and everything.
Yeah, like just come back and be honest and be vulnerable. It's your heart is checking. Come be honest, be vulnerable, and come and say, okay, this is what I've done. But I know that with you can give me strength to keep going. Not in this path, but in the way of the righteous. Do you understand?
See, long and short, guys. See,
follow God.
Follow God. It's not a Milky Way, but it is. It's not a Milky Way, but it is, because why? You cannot be a friend of God and don't get tried or tested.
Yeah, because
you must be refined.
My devotion this morning is saying that God is not promising us a life that is without pain or without struggle. But what He's promising is that He is with you every step of the way.
It's like I said, I'm at the stage of my life that if God, you're in the wilderness, yes, I'm here. If you're here, I'm here, I'm okay. Just like Psalm 23. Yeah. If you're in the wilderness, in the wilderness. If you're in the valley, I'm in the valley.
Yeah.
When you're leading me, you're in the quiet waters. I am in the quiet waters. If you're there, I'm fine. How are you navigating your 20s, guys?
It's a struggle. Honestly, I feel like I'm really learning. Like before, I was looking forward to growing up. I was like, I want to be...
We all did, man.
I want to be like a babe.
We all did.
Right? But I feel like everything started to decline when I turned 20. I mean, it could just be in my head. But I started to feel like I didn't know so much. I started to feel like I was struggling. And for someone who always likes to feel I know the end from the beginning. Not like I'm God, but I always like to find my way around things. I always like to feel like I know what's going on. I know what's going to happen. I'm a planner. Right? So when you look at it and you see your plans fall through, that's one thing that God dealt with me in 2023. Because it's like, why do you think that you can figure this thing out?
Why you want advice
me?
Do
you think you can plan it yourself?
My priest was like, all of you are trying to advise God.
Yeah, like, so for me, I think you had to, like, my to-do list, you have to cancel everything and say, all these things that you say, by this age, by that age, by this one, you're deceiving yourself. Until I have to come to complete surrender and be like, okay. I'm never going to have a to-do list.
Exactly.
I'll go with the flow. Anywhere you take me.
Let's flow.
This year, I try not to do a vision board.
I did.
Honestly, I try not to do, because I'm like, I don't want to put that pressure at that, because I could get so immersed in the vision board and want to have it all figured out myself
at a particular time, like before December 24th. Let me have ticked everything. I think that I just had the vision board because that's the vision. I don't care how long it's going to take, but that's why I created it for this year. I had it in
my mind, but I didn't want to be so obsessed.
In one of your answered prayers, that's a subtle reminder that God is working.
We just
what the Bible said. 8,000 years to God are like 1 day.
10,000 years in 1 day. Because God can literally
compress it and just put you
everything.
Like, what did you say? If God is your PR, I got that thing ain't hard. That was the punchline for me, guys. If
the
God is
way
your PR,
he will announce, you see, people would literally be dreaming and say, there's this girl, Sarah. He'll place your name.
Esther.
Place your name in their mind and be like, until I do this for Sarah, I'll not be okay.
I had that.
True men.
Yeah. Because yes, our angels are all clothed in human.
My 20s, honestly, is all vibes. Let's go say inshallah.
So far, so long. Thank you for staying with us. I hope this conversation helped you. I hope you learned one or two, and I hope you find it so interesting. Please do not forget to give it a thumbs up. Yeah, I mean, like it, and subscribe if you are not yet a subscriber. Thank you. I'll see you all in the next video. For now, bye. We're signing out.